брат Саид Мухаммад Владимир Владимирович, бывший священнослужитель, который 15 лет служил в церкви, алхамдулилля.
Бог-то один, что альхамдулилля.
How priests and preachers enter Islam.
Many of the miracles that Jesus had done, I found them in the Quran. There were even a couple of Jesus miracles mentioned in the Quran that were not mentioned in the Bible.
Hello, this is Dr. Gerald Dirks, formerly the Reverend Gerald Dirks. In just a few moments here on The Dean Show, we'll be talking about my conversion to Islam. Please don't go away.
A former female priest who spent more than 2 decades in the Episcopal Church is now speaking out after being defrocked because she embraced another faith. Today, Ann Holmes Redding calls herself both a Christian and a Muslim, but her move to Islam.
But how was it possible that this man, a priest of 30 years, decided to join Islam? As a priest, he knows what is right and what is wrong. What informed his decision to become a Muslim after 30 years of bromance with Christianity?
هومز ريدن راهبة مسيحية تصلي 5 مرات في اليوم على الطريقة الإسلامية بعد اعتناقها الإسلام.
Я принял ислам, потому что не нашел в христианской церкви.
أنا دخلت في الإسلام لأنني وجدت في الإسلام التوحيد الحقيقي الذي لم أجده في الكنيسة النصرانية. نحن كنا نسمع عن التوحيد، ولكن في الحقيقة كنا نتعلم التثليث، الأمر الذي لم يقنعني. ولما تعلمت على الإسلام وجدت التوحيد الحقيقي من غير أي نوع من أنواع الشرك.
Islam is the only monotheistic religion. There's no Trinity. It never makes sense. 3 never makes 1. The Quran, even in the English translation, just completely made sense to me.
He went to Nigeria to apparently preach the gospel. He succeeded and he came back to Sierra Leone. But how did he become a Muslim at the middle of everything?
Well, our next guest did just that. After being a Catholic priest in Britain, he left to become a teacher and studied in Egypt, where he converted to Islam and became a Muslim. He is now in Ireland to spread the word of the Quran, and he joins us in studio this morning. Good morning to you.
I read the Quran, and I see that thread of the message of God from Adam to Abraham, Moses, David, Saul, all the way through to Muhammad.
Я бывший священник, служил в городе Курске около 6 лет. Совсем недавно принял ислам. Преподавал в Курской духовной семинарии несколько лет, был руководителем молодежного отдела Курской епархии. И когда я стал знакомиться с исламом, то я для себя многое понял и в конце концов пришел к тому выбору, который я сейчас сделал, произнес шахаду.
After going to Catholic school for 12 years. My faith needed a little bit more depth in it, and I was able to find it in Islam.
И стал полноценным священником. Но что же привело его в конечном итоге в ислам? Священник сказал:
He was a Catholic priest.
I knew I needed to become Muslim. I knew that. So it was that next year where I became a Muslim, alhamdulillah.
In fact, she says it was Jesus himself who led her to Islam.
You think Jesus led you to become a Muslim?
Yes.
Muslims believe in Jesus. We love Jesus so much, and we can't even be Muslim really if we don't believe in Jesus, because that's one of our stepping stones to our religion.
The name exalted over and over in Islam is Jesus.
I was told that Jesus is the Messiah, who will come back at the end of time to establish the kingdom of justice and peace.
Not Muhammad?
Not Muhammad, the Christ, son of Mary. You cannot be a Muslim if you don't believe Jesus is the Messiah. It's in the Quran.
Ну, я вот просто знаю людей, которые вникают в смысл, например, мусульманства, и им очень нравится.
Если ислам привлекателен, то именно за счет того, что там содержится нечто, что близко приближается к истине. Там учение о едином Боге, например.
Islam is a faith. It's a way of living before God, of responding to the daily commands of the Creator.
What brought me to Islam is me trying to convince someone else to become a Christian.
20,000 Americans every year decide to convert to Islam. These converts say they don't regret their decision at all.
Growing numbers of young Australian men and women who are converting to Islam.
One of the world's largest religions is gaining followers from a very unlikely
Ismi Samuel Shropshire, I'm in America. I'm here in Saudi Arabia now for 7.5 years. I came here to work on a project involving Quran. I was here only to proofread the new translation of a Quran being done by Dr. Safi Kaskas. I had never read Quran before. I didn't know anything about Islam. All I knew about Saudi Arabia was that what I was told in America, that if I come here it was very dangerous. When I arrived here, I was sleeping in this very building. And I was afraid to walk out on the street. And Dr. Safi Kaskas, he was my sponsor. I went to Dr. Safi and I said, I need to go to a supermarket. I would like to buy some food to eat. I said, how can I go there? And he took me to the window of his office and he pointed down the street and he said, you can find food there. And then I said, well, can your driver take me? He said, no, my driver's off today. So I began to walk. I would walk around the neighborhood here and people would come out of their homes. They would greet me and they would say, where are you from? And I'd say, my name is Samuel, I'm from the United States. And they would hug me. I was shocked. I was shocked. This is not what I expected. And when I went to the supermarket, people would come up to me, where are you from? And I would say, I'm from America. And they would say, Ahlan wa sahlan to Saudi Arabia. They would invite me to their home for dinner, for chai, for tea, for coffee. I got to know many people here. Every night I was reading this new English translation of the Quran. My responsibility in the project was not to translate, I didn't know Arabic. My responsibility was only to proofread the English, to make sure the English was correct. So every night I'm reading English Quran, writing down questions, and every morning meeting with Dr. Safi in his office and asking questions. I'm very happy to describe for you my first experience of Hajj. I came here in December 2011. I became a Muslim in June 2012, and then on the Hajj of 2013, I was able to complete Hajj. Some friends from Masjid Taqwa here in Jeddah asked me if I wanted to do Hajj. I said, yes, I do. I wanted to walk. So I walked on the beginning of Hajj. We met in Mecca. We did, we went inside the holy mosque, and the Kaaba. I saw the Kaaba doing tawaf, and then after that we walked to Mina Wadi, and from Mina Wadi to Masrila, from there to the mountain top of Arafat, and there we prayed. Here I am 10 years later, sitting in Saudi Arabia. You know, the mosque that I knocked on the door, they built an apartment for me in the mosque next to the Imam. Shafiq, the one who opened the door and hugged me and said, Ahlan wa sahlan, he lives upstairs, above me, with his family. If you had told me 10 years ago when I was running for mayor, no, you're not going to be mayor. You're going to be a Muslim. You're going to be living in a mosque in Saudi Arabia. I want to say that Hajj was a great blessing in my life. It was like a spiritual cleansing. It was like forgiveness for all the sins that I had committed in this lifetime. Only God can write this story, and I'm very happy, very proud to be Muslim, to be able to pray to Allah 5 times a day, and to have friends that love me and care for me here in Saudi Arabia.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
How are you, brother?
Alhamdulillah.
Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come and visit us here at the Deen Show.
It's my pleasure, brother.
We have got to mention a few things about you. You were actually a former minister, a deacon?
Ordained deacon in the United Methodist Church.
And you have a master's degree in divinity from Harvard University.
From Harvard Divinity School, correct.
Wow. This is, and the list goes on. You were a preacher starting at a young age. You worked as a youth minister, ordained minister, and the list goes on. We have some books also here that you have authored.
Yes.
We're going to mention a few of the books here. You have Abraham, the Friend of God, which is this book here.
Well, it's actually the Abrahamic Faiths.
The Abrahamic Faiths. You have Easy to Understand Islam. It's another book here. We have Muslims in America, the history.
Yeah.
And you have Letters to My Elders in Islam.
Yes.
You have Understanding Islam. Now you've written a lot of books on Islam, and the Crescent and the Cross.
Yeah, the Cross and the Crescent. Yes.
You like to write, huh? So these are some of your books that you've authored. You're obviously very busy writing books. You are out there trying to now mend the bridges, build the bridges to help develop a better understanding between Islam, the Muslims, and people of other faiths.
Yes.
But we want to hear about your story. We want to know, why would someone who was so high up in the ranks, who had so much knowledge of Christianity, you know the Bible well, what happened? Let's talk from we'll get a little bit of a history from a young age. Talk to us. Tell us how you got involved in Christianity and your parents and etc.
Sure. Actually, there's probably 4 parts to the story.
Yes.
And the first part would be sort of my journey into the Christian ministry.
Yeah.
The second part would be my leaving the ministry.
Mm-hmm.
Third part would be my years as what I called an atypical Christian.
Yeah.
And then finally, the fourth part, my journey into Islam.
Mm-hmm.
But you ask about the first part, which is my sort of journey into the Christian ministry.
Yeah.
I grew up in a small rural community in Kansas where the church was the center of community life. It was a small town of about 500 people. We had 3 churches. Every summer there were ice cream socials at the churches, chicken pot pie dinners, corn roasts, etc. And the churches really were the center of community life. And that was true for my family as well. We attended the local Methodist church, and throughout my childhood, I was very actively involved in collecting my perfect attendance pins from Sunday school, my awards for memorizing biblical verses, etc. And so by the time I reached junior high school, I was already considering the ministry as a personal calling. And about that time, during the annual Youth Sunday, I was always selected to deliver the sermon. And word of that got around, and before long I was preaching at various other local churches upon occasion, at nursing homes, at various church-affiliated organizations, etc.
How old was this at?
I was probably about 14 when this started.
Very, very young age.
Yeah. And so I continued in that direction, and at age 17 I entered Harvard College as an undergraduate with a philosophy major, which was gearing towards seminary, and continued on in that direction. In 1969, I received my license to preach from the United Methodist Church. In 1971, graduated as an undergraduate and entered Harvard Divinity School, which is a 3-year program leading to a degree in Master of Divinity. In 1972, I was ordained a deacon in the United Methodist Church, and in 1974, I graduated with a Master of Divinity from Harvard Divinity School. Spent that summer as an interim minister in 2 rural parishes in Kansas. But in the fall of 1974, I left the ministry, or at least left the parish ministry. I was still an ordained minister, but never again would I fill a pulpit after the fall of 1974. Which probably brings us to the second part of the story, if you want to move in that direction.
Yeah, tell us, will you go into that? Why did you end up, I mean, you were filling the pulpits. I mean, did you have like a big crowd? People would be excited to come listen to you preach, and did you guys have a band? How did that work? To describe this atmosphere.
Well, at the risk of sounding immodest,
yeah.
Typically everywhere I preached, we set attendance records.
You were like a Jimmy Swaggart at the time?
Please don't do that.
Of your community, maybe a Joe Osteen of the small little town? Or
well, I don't want to do comparisons, but
yeah.
Suffice it to say...
Oh, we got some news here. We got some special news. I just found out that someone wanted to enter Islam, so if you don't want to stay and see that, you can go ahead and go. Somebody wanted to enter into Islam. Is it from the sister's side or the brother's side? Who, if you... Tell us your name.
Asrim.
MashaAllah, it's very nice to meet you. Now, do you know about Islam?
Just for 3-4 months.
Oh, 3 or 4 months. That's more than I had when I got started. You like Islam?
Yep.
You believe there's only one God?
I know it's only one God.
You know it. Don't need to worry about that.
And you believe Muhammad is his messenger?
Yeah.
No doubt? Easy. Careful. Good. Cool it. Yeah, that Muhammad is his messenger.
Yes, it's no doubt.
Okay, good. No doubt, she said. All right. Now, the next thing is, if you come into Islam, there are 6 things we believe. We believe in Allah, He's one, the only God. We believe in the angels. Allah has angels. We believe in the books. Allah sent books to people to read, to understand what is the religion. And we believe in the prophets, all the prophets of God. We believe in the day of judgment will be brought back for judgment. And we believe in Allah's power over everything. He already knows what's going to happen. You accept all that?
Yeah.
No doubt.
No.
Okay, good. Hold it. Easy. He's excited. All right. The next question I want to ask you is about the 5 things Muslims do. The first is to make a public declaration, which you're doing now. The next one is to establish worship 5 times a day. No problem?
I'm going to learn everything.
You're ready? Okay. That's great. And we fast the month of Ramadan, and we pay zakat, charity, and we make Hajj, pilgrimage. Okay? You sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
You know, if you change your mind, we have to cut your head off. No. Strike that out. Back to tape up. I can't believe he said that. All right. Yeah, by the way, I'm from Texas. I can't help it. Say this after me. Just repeat after me, okay? We're going to do it English and Arabic, okay? You know Arabic? No. Okay. Here we go. Ready? Okay. I swear.
I swear.
There's no God to worship.
There's no God to worship.
Except Allah.
Except Allah.
And I swear.
And I swear.
Muhammad is his messenger.
Muhammad is his messenger.
Okay, now hold on. Now we'll do Arabic. Ashadu.
Ashadu.
An la.
An la.
Ilaha.
Ilaha.
Illallah.
Illallah.
Wa.
Wa.
Ashadu.
Ashadu.
An Muhammad.
An Muhammad.
Rasulullah.
Rasulullah.
Now. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. We're very happy for you, sister. Congratulations on coming to Islam. Allahu Akbar. It was worth a shot. Another one? Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! Woo! Oh my God. This is a lovely surprise, isn't it? You know why we're excited? By the way, some of you don't know why we're so excited. Anytime somebody enters Islam, if you're there, you get huge blessings from Allah. There's forgiveness that comes down on all of us, forgiving us and forgiving us. Because anytime somebody enters Islam, it's like they were born again. They're coming into the fold of real submission to Almighty God. This is what Jesus preached. This is what John the Baptist preached. This is what Islam is teaching us, that this is really doing what you were created to do, to give over your will to the will of God. So after me, first of all, your name.
Anna.
It's very nice to meet you, and we're excited for you. Are you excited?
Yes.
Okay. And after, you heard what I told her, so everything's okay? All right. You can kind of look to everybody here so they'll know who you are and you'll know who they are. These are going to be your new brothers and sisters just in a couple seconds. Ready? I swear.
I swear.
There is no God to worship.
There is no God to worship.
Except the one true God.
Except the one true God.
Allah.
Allah.
And I swear.
And I swear.
Muhammad is his messenger.
Muhammad is his messenger.
Now the Arabic. Ashadu.
Ashadu.
An la ilaha.
An la ilaha.
Illallah.
Illallah.
Wa ashadu.
Wa ashadu.
An Muhammad.
An Muhammad.
Rasulullah.
Rasulullah.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. We are very happy for you. We're very, very happy for you. And I have something that I want to share. It takes about 5 minutes after we get done and tell you all about it. But these girls can't wait to give you a big hug. So get over there and greet your new sisters. MashaAllah. All right, God. Whew. First of all, tell me your name.
Joey.
Again?
Joey.
Joey?
Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 18.
18 years old?
I'm 18.
So you don't want to be Muslim?
I'm sure.
Why?
Because I've been looking for something and I'm found it now and I know it's a lot.
It's not. I swear.
I swear.
There's no God to worship.
There's no God to worship.
Except Allah.
Except Allah.
He has no partners.
He has no partners.
And I swear.
And I swear.
Muhammad is his messenger.
Muhammad is his messenger.
That's it. Okay, now. Easy.
Max.
Max?
Yes.
Is that short for Maximilian?
Yes.
It is?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, how old are you?
I'm 17.
17. And you'd like to be a Muslim?
Yeah.
No doubt.
No.
You're sure?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, makes sense. It makes sense, and I like things that make sense. So.
All right. Ana Muhammad.
Ana Muhammad.
Rasulullah.
Rasulullah.
Allahu Akbar.